All right, guys. So we are here today. What is Nvidia doing right now, man? Look at Nvidia. Nvidia is actually moving weird today. All right. Yeah, what is Nvidia doing? I'm gonna have to look up the news on Nvidia. I am back home today. Happy to be here, to be honest, man. Hope you guys are doing well today. There we go. Look at Nvidia right now, though. Let's zoom in real quick. Like, look at this. Nvidia gapping all the way down here and then bouncing. Hit 500 yesterday. Ultimately helped drag the market up. The Q getting ready to hit lifetime highs. It looks like, it didn't quite get there yet. Lifetime highs are at 408.70s. It ended up getting up to 407.99. So it got like 71 cents away from the lifetime highs on the Q. Hey, what's up, Alexander, Code, D, Nate, Jay, Guy, Pawn. What's up, team? Yeah, I'm just glad to be home. Again, we got building permit data and housing starts data at 8:30. None of it's really a big day. So, like, today and tomorrow still probably a little bit slow. Tomorrow we have the JOLTS report coming out. But, like, aside from that, or no, I'm sorry, we don't have JOLTS. I wish it was JOLTS. Tomorrow we got CB consumer confidence and existing home sales at 10. Aside from that, it's boring. The big day starts Thursday, where we got the Philly Fed Index, jobless claims, and GDP all dropping same day on Thursday. On Friday, we have core durable goods, the PCE index, which, if you don't know what PCE means, it's the personal consumption expenditure index. It's actually the Fed's preferred inflation metric. Like, it's what they prefer to look at inflation, the lens that they prefer to look at inflation through. So that drops Friday. Expectations for PCE in that regard are 0.2% on the month, 3.4% on the year. So, yeah, we'll see if we get anything good there. Nvidia weird. Yeah, I'm going to have to look up the news on Nvidia to see what we get. Yeah, I'm going to have to put some music on too. Hold on. I'm just glad to be home, man. We went out of town. We had fun. Now we're back. Today's a day where the Q might break lifetime highs. It's getting close. All right, but look at Nvidia all the way down to 494.50s here. Let's get some music playing. Hold on, team. Let me fix it. Yeah, I'm just glad to be home. It's good to visit family, though. My dad's cool. But yeah, look at Nvidia right here. Let me get my Epic pen thing up so you can actually draw this. Like, look at Nvidia. Nvidia had the big slump. It hit 500, had this big slump down. Now it's bouncing back a little bit and consolidating. I don't know what is going on there. Maybe look up some news. That's a big drop. It could be technical related as well because it's up a lot. It's just really nice to have all my monitors back. I don't see any news for Nvidia, so if you guys know something going on, investment chief at $48 billion Global X forecasts AI stock dominance at 24 unveils top investment. Grimes AI toy, Sam Altman debunks GPT 4.5 leak speculation. Yeah, I don't really see anything today on news for Nvidia, so maybe it's just moving on a technical way. That's a big pullback, though. It hit the previous closing price and then just dumped down. Netflix. I'm in Netflix. Netflix ramped up yesterday. I'm not sure why. I'll have to look. Hold on. 5 hours. Where's Amazon at? And Amazon at 150s looks great. I'm just glad my portfolio is looking great, man. It really is. Yeah, my portfolio is looking great. Let's see if he keeps it up. All right, guys. So again, we're checking up on everything. All right, guys. So all right, team. So again, sorry, I'm showing something. All right, sorry, talking some business with one of my, yeah, I haven't even tried trading yet. Yeah, Nvidia worried about $500. What's up, Beach? Yeah, there's an FOMC speaker. It's not a big speaker though. He is, I believe it's like one of the smaller speakers. Let's see. We also had European CPI drop this morning as well, guys, just to give you like a quick breakdown of what that came out as. Core CPI in Europe showed up at minus 0.6% versus minus 0.6% expected month over month. Year over year, core CPI came in at 3.6 versus 3.6 expected. So as expected for core, year over year, base CPI year over year came in at 2.4% versus 2.4%, which was what it was expected. And then month over month CPI for Europe came in at minus 0.6%. So actually a little bit lower than the minus 0.5% expected. So that's a great sign for inflation in Europe here. Hopefully that continues. As for Fed speakers today, we have Richmond Fed President Thomas Barking speaking at 9:30 right at the opening bell. And then we got Raphael Bostic, the Atlanta Fed President, speaking at 12:30. All right. So CB consumer confidence data again at next Tuesday. But we have the week after this, so I'm looking at next week for the holiday week, and then January 1st that week. Manufacturing PMI, ISM manufacturing, and the JOLTS report. ADP non-farm employment change services PMI. Yeah. All right, so Nvidia's still bouncing back. It's at 496, 496. All right, guys. So yeah, Bow, it sounds like you're trading too large, brother. Again, if you're struggling losing accounts, man, what you got to do is you got to build up a cushion first, bro. Like, if you're losing accounts that easily, you got to build up a cushion first, in my opinion. You got to build up a small cushion on the day, even if you're funded, right? Like, I'm funded. Yesterday in my funded account, you guys saw me, like, build up a cushion. Look at the Q rip. About to break the highs of yesterday. Look at this rip. This is like the high of the last year, I believe, too. Yeah, this is the high of the last year we're pushing towards right now in pre-market for the Q. So the Q is right under the yearly high here, team. All right, team. Mullen. If you buy a call option on the SPY at 4 p.m. and sell it the next day, is that considered a day trade? No. Not from my understanding, EM, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. So this guy's asking, if you buy a call option on the SPY at the closing bell at 4 p.m. and you sell it the next day in the morning, is it a day trade? I don't believe it is. You're holding anything you hold overnight is not a day trade. So anything you can buy something at 8 o'clock in after hours and then sell it at 6 a.m. in pre-market, and it's not a day trade. It's a swing trade technically because you're holding it overnight. And I'm pretty sure that's what it is. But again, maybe not. All right, so again, the Q just broke the yearly high. Q just broke the yearly high. I'm looking at Amazon. Amazon's ripping up. Apple moving up. Microsoft, looking at the big tech stocks, moving up. Google moving up. Stuff like Walmart, not really moving up some. ExxonMobil, let's look at oil. Oil's still down a little bit, but gapped up some. Yeah, I didn't think it was a day trade. Okay, good. Yeah, just trying to check with you all to make sure. Yeah, I'm just glad to be home. Get to go back to jiu-jitsu today. You know, it's been like a week. Honestly, my hand still freaking hurts, dude. It only hurts like at specific times though. So like my hand hurts, but it's only if I like grab something and I pull it up like this, which I don't know what that means. Like I know I can still do jiu-jitsu. Bro, the bots are out of control. Bots are out of control. A bot commented on my stream yesterday. Your ability to convey complex emotions through facial expressions is commendable. It adds a layer of nuance to the storytelling. Like, bro, get out of here. You are not even real. Get out of here, dude. Good day to you, sir. Get banned for life in here. Also, this person. Bro, get out of here. Scams. Bro, like you, like yeah, my brilliant storytelling here. Yeah, penny stock CGEN is running up this morning. I don't really like it, but it is running up some. So we'll see what happens. Thank you kindly. All good. Yeah, honestly, my portfolio is doing really nice, man. It just feels really good because it's like, man, I called this move. Now I can just sit back and profit from it. And all the people that said I didn't know what I was talking about, they said I did know the market. I didn't understand. All these people telling you the market's going to crash, and they were wrong. They were wrong. They'll never admit it. They'll pretend they weren't. They'll pretend that manipulation or whatever it is, right? They were just wrong. You love to see it. Buy the dip on boil? I don't know. Yeah, all good, Tiny. It's all good. Sometimes you don't want to see them. Most of the time, the only people I ban are people who, like, if I've never seen you before and you say something disrespectful or negative, you're just going to get banned. I probably won't even acknowledge you if you do. Or, like, you'll see something like, what happens a lot, like, it's genuinely surprising how often it happens, is, like, somebody will come here, they have their own channel, right? They'll try to get free promotion. And then when I refuse to promote them for free, and I won't just kind of give everybody a free plug or whatever, when I don't really know them like that, then they turn into like haters. And so they just kind of sit around waiting to disagree. And they can say it's not jealousy or envy or whatever it is, but like, come on now. Like, if you're mad, I won't promote you for free, being a much larger channel, and then you start hating. I mean, people are fickle. I mean, we're definitely top 3 most fickle people in the world right now, for sure. Definitely top 3. But yeah, CGN looks like sketchy. I wouldn't touch it. Again, I'm not messing with this. Where's AMC at right now? AMC up to 675. It looks okay. GameStop, man. A lot of people are talking about the big GameStop thing. People are supposedly supposed to dress up like Roaring Kitty on New Year's Eve. They said they were going to do the same thing with SantaCon. What happened to that? I didn't see much content on it. What happened to that? Yeah, today we have building permit and housing start data. None of them are really like wildly influential over markets. So if you could press a button and get an instant $1 million, or you could press a button and get a 50% chance of 50 million, which one are you doing? Honestly, bro, I'm taking the instant 1 million, and I'm going to explain why. Okay, if I could press a button, I got 2 buttons I have to press. One of them, I have to press one of them. One of them gives me an instant automatic $1 million. The other one gives me a 50% chance at 50 million, right? And I understand 50 million is a lot of money. Like, I understand that. But here's the problem, okay? Like, you got to think deeper about this. If you click the 50% chance button and you don't hit it, you're going to be depressed, man. Like, you're going to be so sad and so bummed out and so like disappointed. You know what I mean? Like, imagine living with that. Like, you had a chance at 50 million and you just were unlucky. It might throw your whole life off, to be honest. You know, especially if you like don't have that much money to begin with. I guess it's all relative to how much money you have, but yeah, I'm gonna take the automatic mill. I'm gonna stick 600,000 of it in markets and just let that work. And over time, it's not going to turn into 50 million anytime soon, but over time it might turn into 3 million, and that's plenty, you know. And it's automatic. That's my choice there. What are you guys doing? The instant win? Yeah, me too. What are you guys doing? You guys taking the automatic million, or are you guys rolling the dice for 50 million? Let me know. You know, we need to know. Oh, dude, my home coffee. Oh, man. I waited for the pullback and just got wrecked. Gonna take my L on the day and be good. Yeah. 1 mil for sure. It depends. It depends on how much money I have, right? I think that's the answer, is it depends. It's relative to your net worth, I guess. This guy, Brian Sullivan, saying, quote, which Magnificent Seven stock is the most vulnerable to competition over the next 10 years? Certainly, I would say NVIDIA. Maybe Meta. I would say NVIDIA or Meta. Tesla, nah. You know, mostly just because people, up-and-coming EV brands are going to be tough to compete. You know, but I would go with probably NVIDIA or Meta. Let's be honest, nobody's really competing with Amazon anytime soon. Nobody's competing with Amazon. They're pretty locked, you know. That's why, like, people always say, oh, I don't know about buying Amazon. Amazon, one of the obvious stocks that's going to be successful long term. Now, there might be other more successful companies or whatever it is. Amazon's going to do fine long term. It's just obvious. They have become so efficient at mail order products. Like, they pulled Rockefeller's move in terms of cutting out the middleman. Like, they used to have to do deals with UPS and USPS. They basically cut that middleman out. They followed Rockefeller's business ideology and just cut the middleman out. And now their shipping has become so efficient, and their products get to you same day a lot of the time. And so I think Amazon is one of the companies on that list in the Magnificent Seven that's obviously going to be fine. The PE ratio may be high. I understand that. But I think long-term Amazon's going to be fine. It's going to continue to make money, especially in seasonal periods like now. NVIDIA microchips, you know, you got a lot of microchip companies looking for that top spot. That one's vulnerable to competition, I believe. Apple, not really super vulnerable to competition. You know, if you have children, you understand. Like, I have a Samsung phone personally, right? But I could buy both of my kids a Samsung phone, and they are going to be unhappy. You know, I could buy them the newest and best Samsung phone. I have the Z Fold, right? I could buy them one of these, you know, and let them have one of these, and they probably wouldn't want it. I mean, they'd want it, but, like, if it was the only option, they would take it. But if I gave them the option iPhone versus Samsung, they're picking the iPhone every time. And so I don't think Apple's very vulnerable to competition either. I think they are just becoming bigger and bigger. I think Apple has made some really smart moves in terms of making their phones the cool thing, the accepted thing. You know, young people don't want to be outcasts, right? Like, they want to fit in. They don't want to be outcasts. And so Apple's been very smart in terms of, like, if you're in a group chat and you have a Samsung, everybody freaking knows. And so kids don't want to stick out. They want an iPhone, and AirPods are cool. It's just the least vulnerable to competition is Apple and Amazon, in my opinion. Microsoft operating systems, Droid, Android, plus Microsoft operating systems, I think they're going to be fine as well. I mean, Apple obviously might take some of their lunch or whatever, but I don't think they're necessarily like really vulnerable to competition either. So if I had to pick one, again, I'm picking Meta and Nvidia as the two most vulnerable to competition in the Magnificent Seven. You could also argue Alphabet, but I don't think so as well. Maybe, but I don't think so. I think they're going to be fine. I take the coin flip 50 mil in a heartbeat. If I lose, I'll get drunk until I forget what happened. But you're going to wake up the next day like, nope. At a point in my life where I would risk 50 million. Yeah, I think it depends, guys. I would rather a lot of people see me trading and they assume that I'm like this big gambler. I freaking hate gambling. I really do. Like, I like poker and blackjack, right? The only context I like blackjack under is if I can count cards, which is frowned upon and I'm going to get booted out. So I basically never do it. But it's kind of like a hobby, I guess. I never actually do it, though, because, again, I'm in Texas, and they don't even have casinos here. And if I tried, I'd get booted out and then get trespassed and backed off, and it would just be nonsense. And I just don't have... Maybe when my kids are old, I can go have fun and do that. I'll play poker, but poker is the one game in a casino that the house doesn't have a statistical edge in. Every other game at the casino I freaking hate, don't want to do it, don't like to do it. I don't like losing money. It's something I genuinely don't like. Again, I've always told the story. This past summer, Carol and I went up to the casino to play poker. I took out like $800 or whatever because I wanted to go play poker at the casino and just kind of have some fun. I never get to go, so I was going to kind of go a little bit, go a little big because I don't ever get to play. We go to the casino and there's no poker tables. All they have is video poker, and they really tried to talk me into video poker, and I was just like, nah, depart from me, casino. And so anyways, we sat there at the blackjack table for like 20 minutes. And I won $50, Carol lost like 20, and we ended up leaving and not gambling $1 more of that money. We just got out of there, and we just kind of left with all our money and didn't really do it. And so I'm really not a gambler. I don't like gambling at all. And I know that's probably, some people are going to be like, nah, this dude's a huge gambler. I understand why you might think that. The overarching point here is I don't like losing money. I don't like risking money with unfavorable odds. And I think, again, I don't like losing money. And I think if I took that $50 million bet and then didn't hit it, I would be depressed, I feel like. I would rather take the automatic mill. Nope. None. Yeah, they're not. They know the odds there. Again, the slot machine's the biggest sucker bets at the whole place. Like, people... I see a bunch of videos of people acting like how to beat slot machines. It's like, dude, you're the problem. Like, you can't beat slot machines. They're literally programmed to make you lose. They just milk money from you over time. They pay you out a little bit, keep you there, and then they keep milking it until all of it's gone. I'm just not touching it. Yeah. I mean, again, a lot of people could argue, hey, I'm gambling in the market. That's cool. I do day trade, daily. But as you guys know, like, I like investing in the economy now. Like, I day trade, of course. I day trade every day. But again, mostly holding portfolios long term. And again, I've told you guys my portfolio before, and this portfolio has been killing it lately. Again, I am in Apple, AMC, ARM, I'm actually up. Amex, Citigroup, Chewy, Disney, Etsy, Ford, Gold, GameStop, Google, Home Depot, Honeywell, Coca-Cola, MGM, Microsoft, Netflix, Nike, Oracle, Pfizer, PayPal, RTX, Snapchat, The Spy, Tesla, Tyson Foods, Walgreens, Walmart, and ExxonMobil has been my portfolio. But I did take some off over the last few weeks on this big historic rally. I've been kind of taking profit because I need to, to a certain extent. And I could always add back on big pullbacks. But yeah, we're just kind of sitting on those long term. Let me know what your portfolio is in the chat. Let's hear it. Oh, I am in Tesla. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Exactly, Canada. The problem with slot machines is like, for somebody that has ADHD, they're very sneaky with how they do it, and a lot of people don't understand, right? Like, a lot of people don't understand. So like, they bring you there, and as this guy said, they put a bunch of bright lights and graphics on the screen, and they just make it really stimulating is the best word I could use for it. Like, really, really stimulating, all these bright lights and flashy graphics and like all these things, like, you win, you know, and it just really entices some people who are oblivious to what's actually going on, that they're actually just kind of making you addicted to the graphics. So you keep putting money in and losing your money. A slot machine, I basically look at it as, you can look at pretty graphics for 25 cents a pop, you know? And that's basically what it is. Or more, sometimes $1. Yeah, I don't think any up-and-coming EV brand is really out there, except for maybe Rivian. I think Rivian is the one up-and-coming EV brand where I think over time it could definitely get big. They've got Amazon as a backer. You know, Rivian has Amazon backing it. Video poker with basic strategy has some of the best odds in the casino. No, it doesn't. Dude, so here's a 97-year-old comic about what would happen if pocket telephones were to be invented. And honestly, it's super accurate. This is 100 years old, basically. It's actually genuinely accurate. When it's raining, hello, who is this? When running for a train, when your hands are full, when you're given a baby to hold, when you're being married. It says at the bottom, we shall certainly be rung up at the most awkward moments in our daily lives. True. And that's life. They didn't even understand the scope of what it is now, I think, but yeah. Hey, what's up, Freddy? Hello. Yeah, sometimes building permits drop early, but housing starts are coming out too. See if building permits drop. Did they drop? No. So Goldman Sachs plans a 10% bonus hike for deal makers despite 23 cuts. Yeah, I mean, I don't see building permit data out yet, but it's supposed to drop at 8:30 in about an hour. Yeah, building permits expected at 1.47 million. Housing starts expected at 1.36 million. Yeah, again, video poker is just a slot machine, Justin. You know. All right, so gold still sitting over 2,000. Kind of been flat for the last couple days, though. Yeah, none of them are long-term profitable. It's that easy. Again, actual poker might be if you're good enough, because when you play actual poker, you're not playing against the house. You're playing against other people. So yeah, that's what one of the aspects of it is. All right, team. What's going on Twitter right now? Let's see. Yeah, GDP this week is interesting. If we look at the expectation for GDP, this is a really interesting report, right? So again, remember we got GDP data. GDP expected at 5.1%. 5.1%. That's what I'm saying. People saying we're in a recession just don't understand GDP. Like they're using something like 2 consecutive losing GDP quarters that we happened a long time ago to justify saying we're in a recession. Most of them, like in the end, one thing that we're seeing right now is that the economy's doing okay. Jobs numbers are a little bit arguable in terms of what's good or bad. Yeah, I feel you. And yeah, Justin, I mean, it might be relative to other slot machines, it might be good, right? But relative to like real poker or even like blackjack, the odds are probably kind of worse. But you might be right. I'm not sure. Again, basically you're saying 99% payout, which means that if you bet $100, you're gonna get 99 back over time. So they're only gonna milk $1 from you over time. So yeah, I mean, I get it. I get it. So all good, man. Yeah, no, you're good, Justin. All good, brother. Yeah, we trade it pre-market or after hours sometimes. Yeah, for sure, Justin. That makes sense. All good. Somebody says Italian dev salaries going from 20,000 junior up to 40,000 senior. I don't know who the heck is making 100K a year and how. Not in freaking Italy, though, you know. Yeah, they're saying basically work double or work remote in the U.S. So yeah, so Tesla took out Disney Plus from its car, so you can't use Disney Plus, probably in retaliation for Disney pulling their Twitter ads. And so Disney and Tesla are kind of going head to head over this. A lot of Tesla drivers are really upset that they can't now use Disney Plus in their cars. People are upset. Market's looking very strong right now. Again, the Q didn't quite break highs yet because, again, 408.70s are the high. So, again, this is the lifetime high right now. This is the lifetime high. Right here is the lifetime high. We're going to make it big so you guys can see it. We'll make it green. Make it really thick. This is the lifetime high level on the Q. If we break over this, we are breaking the highest we have ever broken on the Q. Lifetime high at 408.70s. We hit 408.30s before pulling back a little bit. You can see the SPY starting to run up as well on the right side. A lot of it's probably related to microchips. Nvidia down some, but tech really running pretty big today. So your housing starts expected at 1.36 million. Building permits expected at 1.47 million. Even in Germany, there are 100,000 jobs, very rare. Yeah, I mean, not in the U.S. though, but it depends on the difference is though, is that typically in these other countries, you're going to get a lot more for 100K, right? Like an example is California. You make 100K in Cali or New York is another example, right? You make 100,000 in Cali or New York. It's really not that much, right? It's really not going to get you very far because when you consider how much rent is, like we could use rent as an example. To get any type of like livable quarters, like reasonable room, like if you want pets, if you want a dog, and you got to have like a little bit of an open space for an animal in Cali or New York, you're gonna have to spend at least like $3,000 to $4,000 a month on rent, right? It's gonna be incredibly expensive, right? Here in Texas, as an example, you could probably get a decent place for like $2,000. You know what I mean? And so that's the difference. So in Cali or New York, it's literally like 50% more for rent. It's 50% more for spend, like for necessities. And so yeah, so if you live in Cali, the average salary there is going to be much higher than the average salary, even in like Texas or certainly overseas in a lot of ways. Why? Because the cost of living is higher. The cost of living is higher in Cali. The cost of living is higher in New York. Like you hear a lot of people in New York or Cali be like, yeah, I make 100K. Like, bro, 100K is nothing there. Like it's genuinely nothing, you know, like it's just not that much money. Like if you really want to live good in like Cali or New York, you're going to need to make like 300K realistically to be able to really do things because things are more expensive. Utilities are more expensive. Rent is more expensive. Just the cost of living there is higher. And it's the same thing in other countries as well. The cost of living in other countries overseas is much lower. You know, it's why a lot of retirees move to like all these other exotic places because the cost of living is so low relative to here. But again, in the U.S., it really depends on what state you're in. Yeah. $1,850 for a studio in Miami Beach. Yeah, Miami. I mean, yeah, it's any big city like that, excluding like maybe Houston and Chicago. You're gonna have to pay a premium to live there, especially Miami, because Miami is like, because again, you got to understand, living in Miami, you have more potential too, right? Like you got more money floating around out there, you got more wealth. You're gonna be able to find better jobs if you're a real estate agent. Here's a good example: if you're a real estate agent in those places, you're gonna make much more in Miami or New York or Cali, right, than you ever gonna make in you know, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. You know what I mean? Like there's just a difference. There's a difference. And you have to take into account the cost of living in those places as well, though, because again, you're mostly giving it back in cost of living. Yes, so the expected numbers: building permits expected at 1.47 million, housing starts expected at 1.36 million. I'll put this up on screen so people can see it. Yeah, so building permits expected at 1.47 million. Housing starts expected at 1.36 million. Both drop here live at 8:30. Subscribe to chat. Appreciate the love. There we go. So we'll put that up on screen so people can see it. I could also put a timer up. I mean, we got a little bit less than an hour, but this isn't really a big report. So like, I don't know if I need to really put a timer up because it's not really like a huge report. We really have like 39.5 minutes left until this report drops, and it's a little bit early, but yeah, we'll put 39 minutes up and just leave it. All right, watching video though. Still watching the Q to see if we can break highs of the day. Watching gold. Yeah, Juan. I mean, listen, bro. I'm a real estate agent too here. You know. I got my real estate license at least. Nobody's buying houses right now. Like, real estate's one of the worst markets you can get into. You could ask other. If you ask other agents are gonna be like, yeah, the housing market's great right now. You know, you could buy a house and just refinance or whatever they want to say, right? I'm gonna tell you this, right now, unless you're paying cash, right? Unless you're paying cash, you can get some deals if you're paying cash right now. Why? Because mortgage interest rates are freaking 8% right now. So nobody wants to pay 3 times more than they were paying 3 years ago. To buy a house. And the conventional appeal of real estate historically was that you could buy a house and pay less than you're paying in rent. Right now it's the opposite. Right now you're going to get a much cheaper rent house than you are going to be mortgage house. And so the conventional appeal of that is gone in that regard as well. And so it really is something in which the real estate market's struggling right now. And again, this is coming from somebody that has a real estate license as well. I just, it's just not worth it right now. I mean, PBLA, sketchy penny stock. Do they even let you short it? Do they let me short it? Let me try. I can try to short it. No, they won't let me short it. I guess you gotta locate it. What do you guys think the real estate market's gonna do over the next few years? All right, so S1 amendment just dropped from BLK 13 hours ago for their spot Bitcoin ETF. Where's Bitcoin at today? All right, Bitcoin all the way back up to 43K, man. It's volatile. Bitcoin was at 41K yesterday. I guess the market moving up. Real estate is going to soar with Blackstone buying up everything. Real estate keeps going higher, in my opinion. But you don't think that's confirmation bias because... or no, never mind. You're not the real estate agent, sorry. I don't trust institutions, especially on the size. Yeah, I mean, I've said this a lot of times. If the Bitcoin ETF does not get approved, drama is going to happen. Like, markets are going to dump in crypto markets, that is, are going to fall very quickly if this BTC ETF doesn't get approved. It's important, we'll see. Yeah, looking at all the AMC guys. All right. All right. Bro, a lot of people don't understand basic math. Hey guys, what's the answer to this equation? What's the answer to this equation right here? I know the answer. But for whatever reason, a lot of people do not know the answer. Do you guys know the answer? Again, I'm going to tell you this. It's 17. All right, you want to know why? You use PEMDAS. You do 8 minus 5, which is 3. You do 5 times 3, which is 15. All right, so you do multiplication first, and then you add the 2. 15 plus 2 equals 17. You know, the problem is, like, you look online and people are, I mean, 17 is mostly what people are saying, but you got a couple people that are saying 21 because what they're doing is they're doing 5 plus 2 equals 7, and then they're doing 7 times 3. But again, you don't do this, you do PEMDAS, you do multiplication first, and so it would be 8 minus 5 is 3 times 5 is 15 plus 2. Okay, good. Again, 21 is wrong. Again, you got to think of it first. Like, in all instances, you use multiplication first, right? So you don't do 2 plus 5. You're solving that too early. You do 8 minus 5 because it's in parentheses. It's 3. And then you do 3 times 5 because that's multiplication before addition. And 3 times 5 is 15. And then you add the 2 at the end, which equals 17. It's PEMDAS. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Yeah, anyways. Alright, guys. Cube's starting to bounce back up. Let's see if we can get back over 408. Again, there's NVIDIA. Let's see what Tesla is doing here. I know Tesla has been on a whirlwind. Got up to 258s yesterday during market hours. Pulled back a little bit during the day. But I believe it still ended green, right? Yeah, so it still looks like it ended slightly green, maybe break even at the end of the day. Are we in a Santa rally? I would say we're in a Santa rally right now. But again, whether we're in one is arguable. I think, again, y'all have to understand what the market is truly in right now. Again, let me explain this. Like, I got to tell you what the market is truly in right now is a historic run. We are in a freaking historic run. Why are we in a historic run? Because we have had, look at a weekly chart here. Okay, look at a weekly chart. Okay, we have had at this point in time 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If we finish this week green, that will be 8 green weeks in a freaking row. That is the history. That is the historic green streak that we are in right now. We have had almost 8 weeks in a row. Again, if we finish this week green, yesterday we did have a green day too, so you can see we even have a new candle. If we end this week green, that will be 8 green weeks in a row in both the NASDAQ and the SPY. All right, here's the SPY. Very big green day yesterday too, so we started it off well. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If we end this week, it'll be 8 green weeks in a row. Now, whether you want to call that a Santa rally or not, it's up to you all. Typically, I'll say this. Santa rallies are not usually this profound. Like, Santa rallies are not usually this deep in runs. But I'm for it. Again, I've been taking a lot of profit because I can. Because, I mean, why not? I mean, listen, if we're up so much already, I'm going to take profit. That way, if we correct, I can add back or do whatever I want to do there. Again, Rivian looking good too. Yeah, I mean, anybody that's saying it's rigged is usually just upset because they've been really bearish, or, you know, again, if you told everybody the market was going to crash and that we were going to be really struggling right now market-wise, you know, I understand why you might want to say it's rigged. Again, I've said this before, I'll say it again, and this is no offense to anybody, but nobody screams manipulation or rigged more than somebody that's wildly wrong about a prediction or a direction, or is in a huge trade on the opposing side. Like, if I'm holding $50,000 in put options, oh yeah, I'm crying right now. Market's rigged. It's manipulation. You know, it's just confirmation bias. Like, you want to believe what you want to happen is the right thing. You know, it's confirmation bias. The problem is that people misunderstand the markets in general, right? The other reason, again, I've said this 1,000 times, but they let the media get to them. They really let the media get to them. The media is going to tell you it's the end of the freaking world all the time. It's the end of the world. The markets are going to crash. It's going to be the end of the world. You know, sell now. You know, they were saying this all the way back. Again, they were saying this back here. If we zoom out, again, they were saying this here. That the market's over, it's the end of the world, and since then we have ripped up huge percentages. And so again, what people have to understand is that the natural flow of the market is up. You know, the market's going to go up over time. Now, you could identify and pinpoint any individual period there and say, hey, we're going to crash or we're going to drop or whatever it is, and we might have crashes in between the upward movement. But again, we already had a pretty big major correction back in 2021 and 2022. We've already had that big pullback where we had a bear market. You know, bear markets don't typically last forever. There's only been 3 instances in history where we've had more than one red year in a row. Only 3 events in history in which that's happened. And so it's not something that's just going to regularly happen, you know. And so I think it's important for people to understand the natural flow of the market. We haven't been anywhere near highs. Again, if you look at the chart objectively, we haven't been anywhere near highs since the beginning of last year. And so people acting like we're just due for some huge correctional pullback. Like, again, we already got that. We already got that in 2022. Really, it's 2021. We already got that, you know. And so we're kind of on the comeback now. We're kind of on the rebound. And the natural flow of the market over time is up. It's going to go up over time. Now, short term, it's super arguable what's going to happen. But long term, we're going to go up. You have to play both ends. I disagree. I don't think you have to at all. I think that the biggest, most profound statistical edge in markets is on the upside. And we might crash, we might hold, we might dip, we might pull back. But long term, the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, the Dow are going to go up. It's not really an arguable thing. And sure, we're going to have bear markets, we're going to have crashes, we're going to have corrections, we're going to have pullbacks. Those are all inevitable as well. But again, when you zoom out, the common saying is, when in doubt, zoom out. And you'll see, like, again, over time, the market goes up for the sole reason that inflation happens over time. You know, what does that mean? That means that companies are going to earn more and more money, and not even necessarily meaning they're super successful or they're more successful. They're just going to earn more and more money because dollars are going to get devalued over time. They're going to be valued less. And so what does that mean? That means that in order to compensate for it, markets are going to go up over time. Markets are inflation hedges in the first place, right? Like, we're using markets to hedge against inflation long term and investing, and that's what you use them for. But again, I think a lot of people get caught up in trying to call the next big market crash, like Michael Burry, and, you know, but you got to understand, if you're betting against the market long term, it's a sucker's bet, you know. Hey, thanks for the donation, and thanks for the donation, AD. Is it the first time in history? I think so. Okay, so no, so sorry. This is not the longest ever. So 7 weeks is the longest since 2017. So the last time that happened was again 5-6 years ago. The Dow's ninth straight week of gains would be its longest stretch since 2019. So yeah, so I don't think it's the longest ever, but it's the longest in 5 years. Yeah, and again, I'm not telling you to buy anything. I have no idea what the market's going to go do short term. Market might crash tomorrow, for all I know. It really might. Like, I have no idea what the market's going to do short term. What I'll say is that long term, though, the market's going to go up. And when I say long term, I mean over like decades, the market's going to go up. Lifetime high of the market is at about 480s. We're at about 472. 473, so the SPY is about $7 away from the lifetime highs as well here. So it's a really interesting market right now. Big green action happening. After the 2017, let's look at 2017. So here's 2017. All right, so here's the Q. So here's one of them. Let's count these up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So the Q had 11 green weeks in a row. Here, again, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me make sure that's a weekly chart. Yeah, 3, 6, 9, 10, 11. So yeah, the Q had 11 green weeks in a row here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 green weeks in a row here. So yeah, the 2017 bull market was the last big run like this on the Q, which is the NASDAQ basically. The SPY, let's take a look at the SPY numbers. Zoom in on 2017. Yeah, SPY wasn't as green. It looks like we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in SPY. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Here on the SPY, we had 10 green days in a row here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No. Yeah, so S&P is probably one of the longer ones on the S&P for sure. Yeah. All right, well, SPY looking a little bit stronger than tech here. SPY moving up a little bit. It's at about 473s. Again, we'll see if it holds support there. Hey, thank you so much. Hey, thanks so much, network. Again, I don't want to say your channel name just for, you know, monetization purposes, but I appreciate the memberships, brother. Thanks so much. Yeah, let me see. Yeah, I mean, again, yeah, I mean, again, if you come across as hateful, he said this. He said, yeah, Alex Music. Again, if you come across as hateful, brother, you're just gonna get banned in here, man. Just a little warning. If the SPY ever did pull back, what number would be? I don't know where the SPY is going to stop. I really don't know. Genuinely don't know. You know what I mean? Oh, we didn't do a poll today, guys. My bad. Hey, but yeah, thanks so much for the dono. The gifted 5 memberships. I appreciate it, brother. Thanks so much. Pawn, you are gifted a membership. Hey, congrats to you. So, Guy, you were gifted a membership. Congrats to you. AD, you were gifted a membership. Dennis, gifted a membership. Brian, or Brain, gifted a membership. So, congrats. You guys are now members. Shout out to that person, whoever it was. Kind of of a cool channel, though. I can't really talk about this stuff here. But kind of a cool channel. I got my wife a 365 for Christmas, a SIG 365. Or not for Christmas, for our anniversary a few years ago. We're SIG people here, so, you know. But yeah, appreciate it. NASDAQ Composite, longest streak, positive closing week, 17 weeks in April of 98. Right. Mostly during the .com boom is what it was. Yeah. Appreciate the love, guys. Appreciate the love, man. Appreciate the dono. But yeah, top 3, any data today? Not really. I mean, we got building permits and housing start data, but it's not big. All right, team. All right, team. We're watching the SPY hold over that 473 level. All right. Again, SPY and the Q still bumping up. Let me pull up Quant Tower. I haven't even used them today yet. Let me pull them up. We got about 18 minutes or so, guys, until this numbers come out. We're gonna be hyped today. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, Sam. But no, it's random though. It's random. CB Consumer Confidence is Wednesday, not today. That's tomorrow. All right, so yeah, we got this up. Australia and US are intertwined. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people. I heard people in Australia like don't like tourists, though. Is that true? Like, you hear a lot about like the locals not liking tourists. Again, I don't know if it's true or not. It's just what I heard. I mean, the U.S. likes tourists. Nvidia? Let me check. Yeah, I mean, Nvidia's been slumping all morning, though. All right, guys. Again, we got about 15 minutes before this data release. Hey, what's up, brah? All right, so we're watching the NASDAQ here. The NASDAQ is so close to lifetime highs. There may be like a magnet effect towards the highs. We'll see if we get it. Yeah, I'm just glad to be home, man. Again, so building permit data expected at 1.48 million, rounded up. Housing starts expected at 1.36. Again, Q is testing this triple top level here. You can kind of see right here at 408s. We've tested that level a couple different times, both this morning and yesterday. Could maybe be a big support or resistance level. We'll see. But if we break over it and start to run, maybe we're going to try to break lifetime highs today. I don't know how much these numbers are really going to affect anything. Yeah, I don't know why NVIDIA is dumping down. Probably just technical extension is my guess, my assumption here. You know what I mean? Technical extension is probably playing a factor there. So that's my guess. But who really knows? I don't see any big news. We got 12 minutes here, team. 12 minutes before building permanent housing start data. Profit taken. Yeah, I mean, NVIDIA's up a lot. You have to understand the range of NVIDIA. You know, everybody's always like, oh, NVIDIA's going to slump down to 400s, 300s, and it just hasn't. It's still moved up. It tapped $500. I tend to still be kind of bullish on it. I think it got really close to 5. And so I tend to be like kind of like a dip buyer almost and stuff like this. But again, I'm certainly not telling you to do it because I have no freaking idea what it's going to do, you know. But again, certainly not telling you to do it. I tend to be kind of like a dip buyer in that situation, though. Are you in a position right now? Yeah, we've been in positions. I mean, my stock portfolio is, 30 positions long. We are also in a futures position right now as well. And you guys can check it out here. We're up 20 bucks, 30 bucks. Nice little pop. We'll go ahead and lock that in. So we just made about 100 on our futures portfolio here after pulling up Quant Tower and futures. Chewy's doing well. I'm green on my Chewy position. I am up today as well. Chewy's green today also. So we got a little baby cushion here in this account. Yeah, I mean, 500 is just a big psychological level. People always ask me, like, one of the questions we had last week is that if markets are breaking highs, how do you technical analysis that? Like, where's your support and resistance levels? And one of the answers I told people was milestone levels, right? What do I mean by milestone levels? 500, 525, 550, 575, 560, 570, 580, like, depending on how short term you're looking at it in. Milestone price levels, like whole dollars, a lot of the time, like big whole dollars, like 500, can just be really relevant levels. Why are they relevant? Mostly because other people are paying attention to them more so than like a more obscure level like 496 or something, like, you know what I mean? Generally, they're just paid more attention to. And so, yeah, again, the Q getting very close to the lifetime highs. Again, the lifetime highs are at that big green line up there. You see the big green line? That is the lifetime high at 408.71 is the lifetime high right up there, that green line. The SPY lifetime high, if we look at it here, Again, SPY at lifetime high is about 480, so it's way up here, but we're at 473s right now on the SPY. But 480 is the lifetime high. Yeah, I'm going to ban him because he's begging for money. Anytime you're begging for money on my channel, you're just going to get banned in here, guys. Hey, see you, Tiny. Bank of Japan last night at 9 p.m. The lifetime high for the NASDAQ, I'm not sure what that is. I think the lifetime high for the NASDAQ is 16,989. So NASDAQ's pretty close to it as well. If we pull up the NASDAQ here, again, the Q and NASDAQ are virtually the same thing, but lifetime highs are going to be different. You pull up the NASDAQ, you see the new lifetime high we hit yesterday at just under 17K. We're at 16.97 thousand on the NASDAQ. Lifetime high is 16.989, so we're close. We're close. So this is actually the lifetime high. Oh, we hit it this morning. I'm sorry. So we actually hit the lifetime high on the NASDAQ this morning already. That's it. We already tapped it. Yeah, I mean, coin is all going to be relative to what crypto does, of course. Yeah, Nvidia's not really falling down that much. Everybody acted like Nvidia's just crashing. It's really not. I mean, it's breaking lows and stuff of the day. But again, I mean, look, we can put a 10-day chart up here, and you can see, really, Nvidia's still in this really obvious trend. You know what I mean? Like, the trend is just very clear, I think, on Nvidia. And so the pullback that everybody's acting like is this. And I think you have to understand stocks are not going to continue. Did break lifetime highs this morning. I didn't notice either. But they did break lifetime highs, so. And again, if you haven't already, guys, we already made a little bit of money on Topstep. So Topstep is a funded account program in futures where they give you a demo. They test your skill with the demo in futures. And in the futures market, again, you can basically get exposure to day trading index funds like the NASDAQ here. Again, the NASDAQ just broke lifetime highs, been in a very obvious trend. You can see it's basically the same thing as the QQQ on the left, but you can day trade this right side in futures, no PDT rule. I can buy market, buy bid, sell the ask, just like stocks, but there's no PDT rule in futures. And so you can day trade short. Patterns are very similar to blue chip stocks. There's just no PDT rule. And Topstep is the most legit funded program in the world. They're located and regulated here in the U.S. They pay out millions in actual withdrawals every year. Fund thousands of traders a year. What they do is they give you a demo and they test your skill, and you got to have reasonable expectations for it. It is a challenge. Most day traders lose money. So most day traders lose money. It doesn't matter whether they're on Topstep or not. Most day traders are going to lose. And so again, I always tell people you can either try to look cool and put up thousands of dollars yourself trying to day trade to look cool on the internet and potentially lose thousands of dollars, or you can get started for much cheaper. If you lose a funded account program like this, the base one's $49. It's not the end of the world. You're out $49, $50 basically. But if you're good enough to pass it, you can get between $50K to $150K in funding with a 90% split. So once you're funded, you make $10K. You get to keep 9 of that. They get to keep 1,000 since they're funding you that money. And again, they've been around for over a decade. Just really useful. Just take the challenge, build your skill. And again, I think most day traders lose. And so again, you can either try to look cool on the internet, trying to day trade and put up thousands of stuff. A lot of people like go to cash accounts or whatever. Again, you're just going to be so restricted, it's not worth it. In futures, you can day trade as much as you want. And again, they are a sponsor of mine, though. And so I'm incredibly biased, of course, in their favor because they pay me money. But if you want to check them out, it really is a good option if you're trying to learn day trading, in my opinion. Because most day traders lose money, and so this is just a much cheaper way to learn. And if you're good enough to pass it, you still get a 90% reward. So, you know, it's very similar to putting the money up yourself, reward-wise, just way less risk, in my opinion. So if you want to check it out, again, here's the link. Put the link up in chat. All right, guys, we got these numbers coming out. Again, I don't think these numbers are going to be a wild influence over markets. I just don't. They might. We'll see. But building permit data, housing starts data drops in about 5 minutes. Neo overseas company, I don't trust. I don't trust overseas companies, especially there, because the government there, you know, they're just too rigid is the best word. I just don't trust them. So I'm not going to buy a company like that. All right, team, here we go. We got a couple minutes left. Really, we got about 5 minutes left. This timer is actually slightly off. We have like 5 minutes now, basically. So we're about a minute and a half early on this timer, but that's okay. Yeah, I mean, again, the NASDAQ already broke lifetime highs up here. This is the lifetime high level way up here, so. Also, we're all going to throw this thing in sub-only mode, so if you have not subscribed already, hit the sub button. We appreciate the love. Thanks so much. Oh, I didn't do a poll today. Yeah, here, we'll do a poll right now. How about does the market end green again this week? Would be 8th week of green in row. Vote on that poll. We got a little dip here. We got a little pullback. Again, NASDAQ's dipping down some too. I mean, I certainly think the market's up a lot. Maybe arguably a little extended on the upside. All right, so again, we are day trading a little bit more, locking in some profit here. All right, so we just scalped up. We're up about 200 day trading this morning. You know, again, we have a long-term portfolio that we're also watching right now. It's very green on the day also, mostly long today. Yeah, I mean, Cubano, Topstep isn't options, bro. I'm not, yeah, so, I mean, Topstep's not options, brother. Yeah, well, the market end, it's 8th green week in a row. 77%. So, yes, we're already, so far, we're green. So, we're already green now. All right, team. You guys ready? We got about 550 people here live watching. Y'all slap that like button here as well, team, if you haven't yet. We appreciate it. All right, team. We still got about an hour and a half left. This timer's actually a little bit off. We actually still have about an hour, or I'm sorry, a minute and a half left. So we'll do another countdown here. I'll get this timer out of the way. But yeah, we got about a minute and 20 seconds left. Yeah, I mean, no offense, Cubano, but it sounds like you don't really know the difference between options and futures. So saying you use Topstep, but then also not knowing the difference between options and futures, you know what I mean? And then using that to criticize Topstep, it looks a little weird. No offense, bro. No offense, man. All good. It's all love. We got 50 seconds left, guys. 50 seconds left. And maybe I'm wrong. I don't know what's good or bad. I mean, economic growth might be shown if building permits are higher than expected. Housing starts, kind of the same thing. Higher than expected might signal economic growth. Lower than expected might signal economic weakness. All right, guys, we got 10 seconds. 10 seconds. Let's see what we show here. All right, here we go. Here's the report right here, guys. Again, let's see if we get anything good. And there we go. So building permits came in at 1.46 million, lower than expected at 1.46 million. Housing starts came in much higher than expected at 1.56 million. So 1.46 million versus 1.47 million expected, lower than expected for building permits. Housing starts came in higher than expected at 1.56 versus 1.36 million expected. So higher than expected housing starts, lower than expected building permits. So again, higher than expected housing starts, lower than expected building permits. We'll put this number up on screen so you can see it. Housing starts, again, 1.46 million, or housing starts 1.56, higher than expected. Building permits lower than expected. We're putting this up on screen. Again, y'all hit that sub button. Here's the numbers right here on screen. Again, housing starts came in at 1.56 million. They expected 1.36. Building permits came in at 1.46 versus 1.465 expected. So slightly lower building permits, housing starts higher. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good, man. 1986, it's all good, dude. Is that good or bad? Good or bad? I'm not sure. Again, they're kind of mixed numbers. So housing starts came in higher, building permits came in lower, and they're stating the same thing. Building permits and housing starts are similar metrics, both gauging strength or weakness in real estate. So, yeah, I mean, they're mixed numbers here. The market's pulling back a little bit on this report, though. I didn't think it would be a big report either, so I mean, it is what it is. Nice, we still got 633 people here. Yeah, I mean, Cubano, I'm not gonna argue about it with you, bro. It's all good, dude. You know, let's just move on. Again, all I'm trying to say is, like, so you got some people that just kind of sit around trying to critique, right? Especially sponsors. And so, again, it's all good. It's a sponsor of mine. I think they're incredibly useful. I think most day traders lose money. And so you can either put up thousands of dollars yourself in stocks trying to, you know, look cool on the internet and lose thousands of dollars as a new trader. And I did this exact thing. I lost thousands of dollars in the beginning. Because day trading is risky, and most day traders lose money when they're learning. That's a normal thing. They call it market tuition. What I'm saying is that there's a big difference between options and futures. Of course, futures in Topstep is mostly day trading, right? So you can't compare. I mean, you could look at the overall niche of day trading, but like, most day traders lose money. It doesn't matter whether they're on Topstep or whether they're on TOS or whether they're doing, you know, most day traders lose money. Options, I would say, if you're day trading options, that's even more risky. Certainly more risky than futures, I would say. NASDAQ started to dip down. So we are starting to dip in the NASDAQ here. Yeah, I mean, market's starting to dip down, pull back some. We'll see if it holds. Again, I guess these building permit and housing start data really is affecting the market heavily. I lost 32K this month. Yeah, I mean, you must be shorting. Again, I know a lot of short traders are kind of mad right now because, again, it depends on, I think a lot of people are influenced by media, right? So if you're influenced by media, you're going to think, you know what I mean? You're going to think that the market's just about to crash and that you can front load onto it and short. Again, there's a reason I don't ever short anything long term like that in markets, because it's just, the risk is so profound, it's just not worth it. Like, if my strategy usually involves something like this. In blue chip companies, this is my strategy, right? I look around and I wait to see extension on the downside in blue chip healthy companies like Apple, Amazon, Walmart. You know, I did this with Target. You know, Target dipped to like $107 a share. Everybody hated me when I bought it because Target's, you know, everybody hated me. But I bought Target. It was extended on the downside. Overall, the company's healthy. I bought Coca-Cola, I bought MGM, I bought Amazon this way, I bought Tesla this way. I just look for emotional extension on the downside. Like, I look for blue chip healthy companies that do well income-wise, that are long-term healthy companies, that have big profound pullbacks short-term. You know, usually I'm looking for like emotional overreactions to earnings or whatever it is. I look for them to dip like heavily, like big percentage dips, and then I buy up those dips in the blue chip companies. If I'm right short term, like over a 3-month period, if it bounces back up, I typically take profit. If I'm wrong, I usually either add to it or just sit on it, because most of these companies I can hold long term and be fine. Like, I can hold Amazon for years and probably make money. I can hold Google for years and probably make money. I don't mind sitting on these things long term because they're healthy companies. They're healthy companies. Maybe they might drop short term. Maybe they might pull back. Maybe they have bearish years. That's fine. If I hold them and sit on them, I'm able to sit on them long term, and over time they're going to make money. And so I don't mind it in that regard. That makes it so that I can either be right short term or I can be right long term, but regardless of it, I'm usually making money on it. When you take shorting into the equation, shorting is kind of the opposite. I never understood why so many people think that shorting's the big game they should do, or shorting there's some big profound edge. It just doesn't make sense, because again, think about it right like this. I can buy Apple, and if I'm wrong short term in my buy, I can sit on it and be right long term. If I short Apple, I better be right short term. If I'm not right short term and I sit on Apple longer, I'm almost always going to lose money over a long period of time in Apple. Why? Because Apple's probably going to continue going up over time. And so the edge there is just so low. You got to be exactly right short term, and if you're not, you got to get out if you're shorting stuff like that. But a lot of people end up bag holding these super healthy blue chip companies long term. It's the worst thing you could ever do. Why? Because these companies are going to go up over time, but people are just so influenced by the media and the world's going to end and the market's going to end that they end up sitting in these long-term healthy companies short for long-term positions, and it just doesn't make sense. They end up losing more and more and more and more money as time goes on, because these companies move up. The dollar crashes if the market moves up, you know. And again, you got to understand this nuance, is that the dollar is going to have an inverse correlation with markets, right? So if the SPY moves down, the dollar's going up, and vice versa, especially with like inflation data and stuff like that, right? But if we look at markets in this way, if we look at the Dixie, you know, back when inflation was out of control, the dollar was rising, right? And again, I've said this 1,000 times, but the dollar was rising. What did everybody say? It's the end of the world. The dollar's flying up. It's the end of the world. The dollar's too strong. Inflation's out of control. It's the end of the world. It's bad. You know, sky is falling. The dollar's ripping up too much, as inflation was really getting heavy. As the market started to correct a little bit and start heading back up some, the dollar started to correct some. And then what did people say? On the downside, they say, oh, the dollar is crashing. It's the end of the world. The sky is falling. The dollar is crashing. And so no matter which direction the dollar's going, if the dollar's moving up, inflation's out of control. The market's in chaos. It's the end of the world. If the dollar's moving down, oh, the dollar is crashing. It's the end of the world. Both of them are wrong. They just have inverse correlations over time. And regardless of any of it, they're going to be okay. The sky's not falling yet. Didn't we have Nike earnings last week? How did Nike do? Not saying I got timing right, just saying 100% of the companies I've shorted in my life are down. Yeah, but I bet you're not shorting blue chip healthy companies. You know? And again, maybe short term you can short companies. Again, what I'm saying is like you might be right. You might be able to identify extension and bubbles short term and short blue chip healthy companies. If you sit on those healthy companies long term, you're going to lose money. You sit on Apple long-term short, you're almost certainly going to lose money. You sit on Amazon short, you're almost certainly going to lose money. So you might be able to do that with like penny stocks. Penny stocks are crap. They're almost all going to fail. You know, the ironic thing is like you got some people who literally buy up sketchy, crappy penny stocks and then short the broader markets. They're literally trading against the most profound edges you can have, which is that penny stocks are going to fail and blue chip companies are going to do well typically. But for whatever reason, they have it in their head that that's where the edge is. And again, they lose over time and then they cry manipulation or whatever it is. But be smart, guys. Yeah, I never short blue chips, 100%, yeah. No, I'm not. You're correct. I'm shorting crap companies, and that's the right way to do it. 99% of gurus said the market was going to go down at the beginning of 23. Michael Burry, yeah, exactly. You know who wasn't telling you that, Philippe? Me. I was telling you guys the market didn't have to crash and that the long-term edge of the markets is on the upside. And again, I saw a lot of YouTubers, man, a lot of YouTubers saying the market's going to crash, doing this. They're putting Jerome Powell's head like big in thumbnails. The market's going to crash, you know. I'm sitting there saying, what are y'all talking about? Most of them are just trying to get clicks. So it is what it is, you know. Do you chat one-on-one with people? No. Do I do like private mentoring? No. I'm not gonna tell what the best blue chips to buy right now, Brittany. I don't know. That y'all, I don't give out stock picks here. I have no idea. I might buy certain things, but I'm not. I don't know what the best company to buy is right now. Genuinely don't know. That's not what we do here. I might look at companies and like specific companies and dislike specific companies. The whole market's really up there right now, but it's hard to tell whether it's going to keep going or not. And so I would be cautious right now on the upside. And again, I'm in a longer term portfolio, but like I'm not really buying up anything right now. I'm just kind of sitting on what I'm already holding and taking profit as we continue to go higher and higher. Also, guys, if you haven't already checked out my other sponsor, it's a company called Chart Prime. It's a trading view indicator service you can use in stocks, forex, futures, all this cool stuff. I use it a ton with these funded account programs, and I want you guys to check it out. So again, this is a company called Chart Prime. I could put up their lists here and put up the Market Oracle Pro, the Market Dynamics Pro. I could put up screeners to see what trend we're already in, and again, just you can see how useful this can be here. Look at the strong signals, number one. So like look at every time it tells you a strong signal. Like check this out. Strong signal here, buy signal. Boom. Nice bounce. This is a 5-minute chart too. So you can see this is a 3-hour period it moved up. Literal 3-hour period. Look, strong buy signal here. Right before this big rip. You know, hour and a half of bullish action since that call. This sell signal worked a little bit. Arguable. This sell signal worked. This sell signal worked, right? The only one you could maybe say didn't work is that one, but that's out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 5 out of 6 worked today, in my opinion. Again, you can keep going back and look. Buy signal here, strong sell signal there. That one worked. I'm telling you, look at the strong signals. They're genuinely impressive, in my opinion. Like, look at this. Strong buy signal here, huge rip. Strong sell signal here, huge dip. Strong sell signal here, you got a little bit of a dip at least. And so again, test them yourself. But can be powerful here. They also show you flags, of course. If you zoom out here and you look at like this flag, you can see different breaks of flags and stuff like that. You can see this little descending triangle there. I could put up a 1-hour chart and do the same thing on a 1-hour chart. There's oscillators. I could put up screeners and back testers for the long-term members, for the lifetime members. There's just a lot of stuff that you could use, and you can get 40% off if you use my link for Chart Prime. Just really useful, really impressive. Look on an hourly perspective. Look at the strong signal that showed up here. Again, on an hourly perspective. So every candlestick represents an hour. Look, strong buy signal there. impressive. It's genuinely impressive. Again, I would, check them out. I can't guarantee you're going to make money. Of course, I'm biased in their favor because they pay me money and they're a sponsor of mine. But again, you can get 40% off. Use that link. Great way to help support your boy here on this channel. Market's starting to pull back a little bit here. Starting to pull back a little bit. We'll see if it keeps up. What's the SPY doing? SPY's probably dipping down some too. Yeah, it's hitting the volume weighted average price. We'll see if it holds. Dollar cost average. Real estate seems like a good blue chip. Well, everything they're looking at, again, the lens that you have to look at markets under is very simple, right? The lens that you have to look at markets under is inflation hedging long term. So if you sit on cash long term, you are going to lose money. It's an inevitable thing. You are going to lose money if you sit on cash long term. It's just what it is. That's what the market is you're going to lose money long term if you sit on cash. Why? Because your dollars are devalued over time. And so your goal over time is to hedge against that loss and that devaluing of the dollar. Your job is to hedge against that. How do you hedge against that? You invest. What do you invest in? Whatever you want. Almost everything's inflation hedge. Gold, 7x over the last 25 years. S&P, about 3.5x over the last 20 years. Real estate, I think it's like a 4x in real estate, 3 to 4x in real estate over the past 20, 25 years. And so over time, investments appreciate, right? That's why the market goes up. Again, people always say, how do you know the market's going to go up over time? You don't, but it's very probable because that's what we've done over a century of data here in real estate and gold and the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. And so your job is to hedge against that inflation over time. If you don't, you are going to lose money. An example is you can save up for retirement, right? Say you've got $200,000 saved for retirement, right? And you think that's all great and fine. Oh, $200K, that's a great amount of money, right? A lot of people are going to say maybe $500K or whatever, but let's call it $500K. So you save $500,000 up, and you think that's plenty of money to retire on now in 2023, right? Maybe it's not, maybe it is, but if you don't invest that, if you don't let that money work for you, you can buy bonds, guaranteed returns. You could buy a 10-year right now making 4.2%. What's the 10-year at? I think it's 4.2. Oh, so it's actually under 4%. You can buy bonds and get about 4% right now. So if you invest $100K, you're going to make $4,000 a year in interest. And then at the end of that 10-year period, you're going to get your $100K back. So over a 10-year period, you're going to make 40%, not including compounding. If you wanted to compound it and buy more bonds or whatever. But yeah, you can make money over time. If you don't hedge against inflation, your cash is going to lose money and you're going to lose value over time. And so, in 20 or 30 years, say you have $500,000 saved for retirement, in 20 or 30 years, $500K is going to be noticeably less buying power in 20 or 30 years. You're not going to be able to get as much for $500K that you are now, and that's the big mistake in a lot of people's minds. And when you ask them, well, hey, why didn't you invest? They say, oh, I don't trust the stock market. I don't trust investing. Again, people are missing out on the biggest long-term edge you can ever have because short-term the market can crash, and it can't. Long-term, the market's going to go up, though. People don't understand it. You got to look at a long-term graph to see this. You put up the S&P, the actual S&P, not the SPY, but you put up the actual S&P over a long period of time. This is what it's done. In 1930s, it was at $4 a share. $4 a share on the S&P, about $4.40, but $4.40 in 1930s. In the 70s, the S&P was at about $75, $75, $100 to a certain point. You know how much the S&P is now? Again, in the 70s, the S&P 500 was about $100. The S&P 500 right now is almost $5,000. And so don't be dumb, I guess is the easiest point. Oh, Amazon do a pullback. Yeah, Amazon incredibly strong right now. Incredibly strong. Starting to rip back up. Yeah, you can dollar cost average. Do whatever you want to do. Yeah, I'm definitely a broken record. But people only hear things when you repeat them. And so, again, over time, I've become very I've become very much investing mindset. I day trade every day, of course. I'm up today day trading. Today we are up a cool $230 day trading futures. But I had some sideline money bought with Pfizer at yesterday's lows. I need a divvy payer anyway, and a yield is good. For Pfizer, I don't trust Pfizer, though. Pfizer's down too much, and I think the nature of that company is volatile. Hedge against inflation through gold and silver, real estate without a mortgage. A mortgage is a hedge against inflation as well, though. Like, even a mortgage is a hedge against inflation. You might say, how, right? So say you got a mortgage right now, and you say you get a locked-in rate at, you know, a certain amount every month. Say you get a locked-in rate for your mortgage at, let's just call it $1,000 a month, right? I mean, that's a little low. Say it's $1,500 a month for your mortgage, which I think is the average mortgage rate right now is $1,500, right? So you get a locked-in rate where you're paying about $1,500 a month in a 30-year mortgage. How does that hedge against inflation? It's very simple. Over time, in 20 years, in 10 years, in 15 years, $1,500 is going to be noticeably less influential over your budget. It's going to be noticeably less impactful over your budget, right? So essentially, in 10 years, $1,500 is going to be much less of a chunk of your income, hopefully, because you should make more over time, as well as it's going to be noticeably less buying power over time. And so that's how mortgages hedge against inflation long term as well. So regardless of what vehicle you're using, that's the way to use it, is to hedge against inflation, whether it's a mortgage or whatever it is. And you can always refinance if rates drop. Right now, though, of course, rates are 8%. Nobody wants to buy a house, or at least mortgage a house. The only people that are really buying are paying cash. And you can probably find some good deals cash-wise now. But yeah. No, I'm taking profit by selling shares. Sometimes I'll add it back, though. No, I'm not telling you to get a mortgage melting. What I'm saying, though, is that a mortgage can hedge against inflation long term, is what I'm saying. I wouldn't buy a mortgage right now, 8%, you know. I'm good. That's way too high. Yeah, I'm not buying. I'm not getting a mortgage right now. Yeah, rates are down, but it's still probably a pretty sketchy time. Ever thought about putting more than one? Would y'all rather 2 charts up or 4? I could put 4 up. Again, if I put 4 up, though, I'd probably want to, like... I guess we could put 4 up, but again, if I put 4 up, I'm going to have to, like... I'm going to have to make the chart a little small down here. You know, and it might not be worth it in the long run here. Like, here's Tesla. So we might be able to watch some stuff, but we just only have a certain amount of screen space. We can probably keep it like this. Yeah, I mean, historically, it's not super high, but over the last 15 years, it is. You know what I mean? So, like, yeah, if you zoom out, if you take all the, basically, if you take all the inflation crises into consideration, you know, 6, 7, 8% is not incredibly high conventionally, but relative to the last 15, 20 years, it's incredibly high. So, people don't remember in the 70s. They remember 10 years ago, 5 years ago. They remember 3 years ago when it was at 3%, 2.5% is what they remember. And so it's very difficult to get people to pay 3x more than what they were paying 3 years ago in mortgages. Three? Yeah, I mean, I guess I could do something like this. I guess that works. We could probably do that. 17 stocks, all penny stocks. Hey, the goats. All right, we're going to get ready to day trade anyway, though, so we're going to have to take a lot of these down regardless, though, you know. We're going to get ready to day trade some at the open. I'll probably have to do something like this. I can probably do it like this, where... do something like this, I guess. we all know penny stocks are where it's at for shorting. And that's not even true either. I mean, you could try to short penny stocks, and I've had some people I knew that wanted to short penny stocks, but like, okay, here's my argument against shorting penny stocks. Number one, you're not going to be able to find that many that are easy to short. You'll have to get a specialty brokerage that specializes in shorts. You're going to have to locate those shorts, and you're going to have to pay a huge premium for those shorts and hope it works out for you, right? So in that regard, the edge is not as big as you think. You're going to have to pay regardless of whether you profit or not, just for locating those shorts. And in the end, you're still not going to have access to a ton of shorts in penny stocks. You're just not, what shorting ultimately is long-term investors loaning you shares because they don't care about fluctuations that much because they're holding things long-term, right? So if somebody's holding Apple for 20 years, they might loan you their shares so you can profit off of a, arbitrage opportunity, shorting it. And then and then they get the shares back and they don't really care. They might as well cop a percentage from it, The reason you don't have a lot of penny stocks available to short is because you don't really have that many long-term investors of penny stocks. So locating those investors is going to be a struggle. And in the end, it's going to be like finding a needle in a haystack a lot of the time. And even if you do locate them, the likelihood that they're going to drop when you want them to is even lower. And when you add all of that together, it's just a super difficult market to make money in, Yeah, but we got to keep the data up. You ever look at Wall Street Bets? Some guy turned 20 into 101.2 mil overnight and was still down 30% of the year. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people just gambling there. But yeah, a lot of people just gambling their money away. All right, looking at our votes, 71% of people think we're gonna get another green day today. I don't know if I agree with that, but I hope it happens. So we had building permits. All right, team. Glad I reduced my NVIDIA calls yesterday. 500 looks like a massive barrier. Yeah, it's one of those big milestone levels. Who knows if we're gonna break or hold over it. I mean, NVIDIA's still up a lot though. It's at 490, so it's still very strong, I would say. Would NVIDIA go higher than 500? Oh, coffee's good, guys. Coffee's good. Bro, this guy Bill Morgan's got to be the luckiest guy ever. Okay, so in 1999, an Australian truck driver, Bill Morgan, and this is all quoting from a page called Fascinating. Anyways, in 1999, and this is all quoting again, quote, in 1999, Australian truck driver Bill Morgan was involved in a serious accident that left him in a coma. Even though doctors said he had no chance of living, he miraculously woke up after 12 days and was completely fine. Feeling lucky for having survived, he went on and bought a scratch lottery ticket and ended up winning $17,000 in value for a car. He ended up winning a $17,000 car at the time, which is 1999 brand new car. Normally, winning a car wouldn't have made it to the news, but because of his accident, Channel 9 decided to do a feature on the man who was clinically dead and came back to win the lottery. While filming, they asked him to buy a lottery ticket so he could reenact the winning scratch. He happily obliged and started scratching the ticket on camera, and to everyone's dismay, he ended up winning $250,000 on that scratch ticket. Bring me this man. I want this man to sit next to me, end quote. This is all end quoting. I want this man to sit next to me while I trade, you know. I'm going to rub his head and just hope that, his luck fades into me a little bit. Again, the NASDAQ at the bottom range here. You can see we've tapped these couple levels a few times. Here's the lifetime high on the NASDAQ right here. We are bumping this low, which was the previous high. So again, you can kind of see this was the previous high. Now we've triple, quadruple bottom this level here. So we're watching this level for sure right here at around 19, at about 950 on the Q and the NASDAQ. Red Book report released. All right, team. Alright, so we did bounce a little bit. I should have bought that little dip here because we had so much support at this level. Hey, later, Mike. I don't know where that guy is now. All right, team, we still got 25 minutes or so, 25 minutes. Alright, team. Let's see what else we got. Alright, so the national debt reaches a new time high of 33.883 trillion. Apple to be banned from selling smartwatches in the U.S. beginning December 21st. This can't be true. Landmark decision prohibiting Apple from selling smartwatches in the U.S. beginning this week amid allegations of medical technology. Oh, whatever. What's the newest Apple Watches, guys? What's the newest Apple Watches? I think it's Series 9. All right. 34 trillion. All right, team. Hey, we got like 23 minutes left. We're gonna go with looks like I'm buying this for Carol. Alright. Sorry, I'm... Alright, so we're pulling back to this level now. I don't know what to do. Market's so flat and sideways here. We got Nvidia trying to break down. The Q's consolidating. I see. Let's use this one. Do you remember me? Sorry, bro, but no. I'm just going to call you Q, though. Thanks for being here every morning. You're how I kick off my 7 a.m. Hey, good morning, bro. I don't eat fruit. I eat fruit. I like apples. Did he took trade? Yes, I did take trade. Hey, bud. What you doing, man? What you doing? Here, don't walk over here. Nope. Don't walk over here. No. Absolutely not, bro. I know, but buddy, I'm sorry, but you can't. Alright. See, my son's freaking smart, dude. My son knows, dude. My son waits for me to be busy, bro. He's calculated, you know? He reminds me of me when I was a kid, dude. I was impatient. He lacks patience just like I did. But he's calculated. So he currently can't play video games. Like, we only give him limited video games. So his strategy, I already recognize it. His strategy is to wait for us to be busy. Like, if Carol and I are right in the middle of something that's kind of hectic and busy, he will come up to us then and say, hey, Dad, can I play games right now? Hoping that we're just going to be kind of oblivious to what he's asking and say, yeah, sure, go ahead. And then he runs off and gets to do whatever, right? But you can't break. I'm not doing it. But he's smart, dude. He knows. He's coming up to us right when we're busy and knows what's up. Yeah, I'm going to go to the bathroom. Alright, so again, we're going to do our typical bathroom break rule set, where if I take longer than 2.5 minutes, you can call me dummy for the rest of the day. Alright, final countdown. Alright guys, 2:30. Alright, you guys ready? Ready for this? We're going to do our typical 2.5 minute countdown. Alright guys, you guys ready? All right, guys. It happened. Well, I guess y'all can call me dummy all day today. That's all right. I accept it. My son needed me to go set something up for him as well, so I had to go set something up for my son, and I just kind of accepted the fact that y'all are gonna be able to call me dummy all day. It's all good. There we go. Hey, I accept it. I blame my son personally. We did bounce right there at that support level we should have held, but that's okay. Let it out. It's all right. Let the dummies reign today. It's all good. All right, guys, here's the NASDAQ. Again, NASDAQ's very flat heading into the opening bell today. We got 13 minutes. We're basically doing this right now. Look, big move up. We're kind of just sideways neutral action. Yeah, definitely top 3 biggest dummies in the world right now for making that bet with you guys. Definitely top 3, you know. 100 push-ups? Nah, man, I can't do it. Hundred push-ups and all is forgiven. I can't do it. I mean, I'm definitely top 3 push-uppers in the world. But, like, you know. Good morning. Just wanted you to know my husband has you on every morning, so I literally wake up to your voice every day. And the mom in me says, eat your fruit. You don't even know. Like, okay. I'm mostly a carnivore personally. Like, I mostly am a carnivore. Like, I love meat. You know, like brisket. I'm in Texas right now. I'm from Louisiana originally, so really seafood heavy. I eat veggies. But mostly, like, I eat veggies and, like, nachos, you know? Like, yesterday we got some nachos, and my nacho meal goes as follows. It goes chips, 2 different type of beans. I get black beans and refried beans. I get cilantro rice. I get chicken, guacamole, a lot of corn, cilantro. And yeah, that's basically it. I think that's it. So yeah, I eat veggies and fruits. And again, my wife is my wife is the healthiest eater I've ever seen. Like, she, even like her guilty pleasure foods are healthy. Like, she'll be like, ooh, like, I can't get her to eat cookies. She won't eat any sweets. She doesn't like ice cream. Like, her desserts are like freeze-dried mangoes. So I wish I could be like my wife in terms of what I ate, but I just eat a lot of beef and meat and burgers and stuff. So. Yeah, get your mind out the gutter, people. Get your mind out the gutter. Yeah, I'm gonna be on Topstep next week. So yeah, we'll be on. Maybe it's either next week or the week after. But yeah, I'm gonna be on. Oh, no, it's next week. So, yeah, I'm going to be on there next week. What are some good gardening gifts? Oh, that's pretty cool. When do I get it? Okay. I'll add that to the cart. Sorry, I'm going Christmas shopping for my wife right now, since you guys reminded me. Isn't there like I keep getting ads for like an indoor hydro gardening thing. I don't know where I can find it though. I don't see any on Amazon. Maybe I should type in hydro. I think it was a hydro. Also, get your minds out the gutter, not that type of hydro. Hydroponics. I need like a big one. Where's a big one? Well, she already got these mostly. These aren't as cool. Alright, I guess I'll get her this. They just better freaking deliver it. Bro, Carol better love me. I'm spending a lot on my wife. Dude. She better love me. Alright. This should end Carol's Christmas gifts now. Alright guys, we're still here. I wish I was more like that. I'm so addicted to eating ice cream at night when I'm relaxing. My thing is like cookies, okay? Like my pet peeve, or no, my kryptonite dessert is cookies, right? Like lately I've been ordering like lemon cookies mixed with chocolate chip walnut cookies, and then I heat them in the microwave and I put them in milk and I take a spoon and I eat them that way. I usually do that at least once every other day, you know? And so that's like the worst thing in my diet right now is cookies and milk. I'm like a 5-year-old. I really, Kira always messes with me and says I eat like a 5-year-old. For a large majority of our relationship, I ended up developing some type of like tomato sensitivity, or maybe I always had it. But for a large part of our relationship, I would eat pizza Lunchables heated up in the microwave, and I would eat like 9 Lunchable like pizzas at a time. She would always joke that I shop and eat like a 5-year-old, and it's absolutely true. It's absolutely true. Can you talk about trading psychology a little? Trading psychology is very simple. You have to condition yourself through repetition. You got to do the correct things over and over and over again until it becomes second nature and you don't have to struggle to do it anymore. You need to trade small. The biggest problem most traders face is that they trade simply too large. You know, they trade simply too large, right? So they end up trying to look cool on the internet. A lot of the time they have like gurus or mentors that they follow that are just taking crazy big risks and trying to look cool on the internet. And so they end up trying to mimic and emulate those mentors, and they end up just trying to get rich instead of trading smart. They end up trading way too large in the beginning versus what they should be doing, and end up just losing a bunch of money in the process. If you're day trading, trade small. You don't need to trade big. Trade small, build up a cushion on the day first, and then once you build that cushion up, then you can take larger risks. And if you can't build that cushion up, it's going to be a small day, and that's good. That's going to help with the mental part of trading, because if you're taking huge, big losses, you get a little bit less sensitive to it over time, and that's a bad thing in a lot of cases, right? Like if you get used to losing $1,000 a day, before you know it, you're going to be, all your money's going to be gone, you know, trying to look cool on the internet. And so just don't worry about looking cool on the internet. I know, like, I think a lot of people need validation in that regard. You see it, I see it like here in my chat. You know, you get a lot of people that really want people to follow them. They want people to see them as like an expert or whatever, or like, you know, a resource. And I get it, but you gotta, in trading, you really can't care about that. You have to focus on yourself. You have to focus on what you're doing, the process that you're building, and not worry so much about the internet. And this is coming from somebody that live streams on the internet. So I have no idea what I'm talking about, but I think that's the right way to be in trading, like trading psych-wise, like psychologically. All right, team, we got about 3.5 minutes. All right. Rosie, baby. Hey, come here. What's she doing? Hey, come here. Come here. In this crate? Oh, no.
I mean, it's not as bad as this.
So it was him. Dude, what did my mom give him, man? Ugh. Sorry. My mom stayed at my house. Hey, baby. Come here, Rosie. Yeah, she doesn't like coming over here because she usually knows that I'll try to pull her stream, and so she doesn't jump up. Hey, baby. That's my dog, Rosie. Here, buddy. Jack. No. Jack. No. Jack. All right, sorry, I had to kind of. Hey, Rosie, come here, baby. She doesn't have a collar on. Hey, come here. Hey, yes, come here. Come here. It's okay. Just got your bag right here. It's all right. This is Rosie. That's my girl. That's my girl. You just a good girl. Yeah. You just a good girl. That's my baby. That's my good girl. Yeah. This is Rosie. Prettiest dog in the land, the belle of the ball of our house. All right, you got a shirt on? Okay, bro, it's too big, but that's all right as long as you got a shirt on. What's up, man? How you doing this morning, buddy? Here, don't walk over there by the cords. My family just showed up. They're up. Kids are off of school. Yeah, here, that's the Wall Street Bets guy. Speaking of Wall Street Bets, I got this guy. He's always been there.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. Thanks, bud. Yeah, it's all right, man. You can say it. It's good to say. All right, so we're gonna buy this dip in the Nasdaq. Love you, buddy. All right, hey. Out of here. Love you, man. All right, so we're actually falling down. Oh, I need that. Give me that. That's my mic. Ooh, thank you, buddy. I needed that. Thank you so much, man. All right, but get out of here. But I needed this. Thanks so much, man. I really did need that. It's the USB port to my other headphones. I was looking for this. Whoa. All right, so somehow, man, the market is acting weird. Oh, there's the market open. I'm dumb, man. I'm taking a trade right before the market opens. See, my kids distracted me. We're still green on the day. We didn't actually lose that much, though. We're still up 160 on the day. My family's got the worst timing, though. They really do. They show up. Chewy, ripping up right now. They show up at the worst time. All right, huge rip. I should have held that position, too, man. Look at that bounce. Wow. Yeah, I didn't even realize before the open. My family distracted me. I blame them. Kind of. I'm just joking, but kind of. I'm going to take a little bit off of Chewy here because Chewy is flying up right now. Might as well take profit here. Equities portfolio looking pretty good. man, huge bounce. Again, we got that support level we talked about. Remember, we drew the support level. It's the only support level we have on our charts, and that thing held beautifully, and the bounce continues. Look at the Q. NVIDIA's still struggling to hold, but still over 490s. Neo ripping up. I don't really like Neo as a company, though, but it's starting to move a little bit. All right, the Q is up. Testing the highs here. The Nasdaq's testing the lifetime highs, I believe. Let me take a look at it to see what it's actually going to hit that. But yeah, the Q is testing lifetime highs. Or the Nasdaq is. The Q lifetime highs are still up there at that green line. The SPY lifetime highs, I'll have to see. The SPY lifetime highs, I believe, are at 480, so we still got some room here. I'm going to buy this pullback. We're up 50. I'm going to let it work and see if we get another test up there. I think we could have a, there we go. All right, just made about $130 just there on that scalp. We are now up about 280 on the day or so. 280, 275 to be exact. We'll see if we get some continuation movement here. All right, NASDAQ with a big pullback. We'll buy that again. See if we catch a pop. And just getting slumped down. We might add to this too and trade on the risk that we currently have. Well, we're back up. All right, we're just going to lock that in because we can. All right, so we're up over 3 now. Yeah, we're up over 3. I'm gonna buy this, scalp out a little bit more. We're up about 350 on the day. We got a nice little cushion here. The Q looking like it's trying to hold nicely. You know, the question is, do we test that other high up there? Is the real question. I'm not sure. Walgreens, I should be. I think I'm still in Walgreens. Yeah, I'm still in Walgreens. That's cool. Alright, so market wants to hold, but it's struggling to break. So part of me wants to buy this dip again, but again, it looks like it's struggling to break. Oh, I got a bad fill there, but that's okay. There we go. Just made a little bit more. We'll take it. Currently have about 4 on the day. You want to see the P&L? You can see it here. Now we're correcting all the way back down. So we got a little flag-like pattern here, but again, I don't trust it. You got to be quick with it. NVIDIA's starting to crack lows. That might drag it down some, and then the Q broke under a pretty major support level too, so we got to be weary here, I think, team. Alright, so we're back in the queue. Man, we are getting pretty spot on with these buys. Alright, we're up about 450 on the day now, about 450. And then Nvidia trying to hold. Let's see if Nvidia bounces back, then that's good. And Nvidia's trying, so this might be a sign, but. Alright, so we're back in the NASDAQ here. About to cut this probably. Well, I mean, maybe not. Done about 100 here. I don't know if I like how long this is taking. We cracked the lows here. I'm gonna just cut that and get out. So yeah, we're still up nicely, like 300 plus on the day, but let's see if we get a bounce back. We basically give it back the whole gains. Mid caps are popping. Yeah, I'm looking at Walgreens. Walgreens still bouncing up a little bit. I gotta watch the NASDAQ some too here, I think. Getting kind of choppy now. Watching the S&P move. We're scalping a little bit of the regular E-mini here, up 125. We go and lock that in. There we go. So now we are up about 530 on the day, 530. I'm going to buy the NASDAQ. This is typically a very strong move right here. And so we might actually take a larger position based off of this profit, try to get a larger gain on the day here. All right, we got two contracts here of the NASDAQ. A little bit choppy, but we'd like to see some big pop-ups. We're going to take a larger risk because we can. We have a big cushion on the day. And if we start to really surge up, we'll take profits quick and then give it a moment to test. Take half off there, lock in some more gains. See if we can keep pushing. We want to push up. There we go. Boom. I took that off there too. All right, so now we're up over 7 on the day. Over 7, we're up about 715. We got a 4-to-1 win-loss ratio. And again, we are trading on Topstep's funded account program right now. We got a 4-to-1 win-loss ratio. And yeah, so far so good here, guys. How are you guys doing today? Hopefully y'all are doing as well as I am. Sorry if I'm not paying too much attention to the chat. I got to kind of focus and zone in sometimes, but we're at the top of the range. I'm seeing a lot of rebounds in Nvidia too. Alright, so we are getting some big action here. I'm going to buy this dip, this little pullback here, see if we can get a retracement pop back to test highs again. 50. We got a little bit of one, and if it doesn't work, we'll be okay still. I like the momentum, sure, right now. We'll add a little bit more to this, see if we can get a larger gain here. Definitely didn't work. We're going to have to cut that and give back a lot of the profits. So we're still up over 400, but that was just a big pullback. Not really what we wanted or expected right there either, but still up over 4 on the day. choppy action. Big range, but choppy action on the Q and on the SPY right now, too. And again, we're on Topstep's funded account program. They give you a demo, test your skill. If you can hit the target without hitting the max loss, they fund you between 50 to 150K with a 90% split. They pay out millions, fund thousands of traders every year, pay out millions in actual withdrawals every year. There's no PDT in futures, so you could day trade short, buy market, sell market. You see me basically trading the NASDAQ here, which is essentially the QQQ with the same price action, just a little bit different in price. No PDT role in futures, and Topstep's the most legit funded program in the world. Again, they give you a demo, they test your skill. If you could pass the test, they fund you. If you fail the test, you're probably going to lose less than you would putting up the money up yourself. Again, just taking the challenge builds your skill. Once you're funded, there's a 90% split, so you can either put up thousands of dollars yourself trying to look cool, or you could try a funded account program like this. If you lose, you're only out $49 for the base one. If you're good enough to pass it, you get a 90% split in a funded account, so great way to help support the channel. I'm certainly biased, of course, in their favor because they're a sponsor of mine. They pay me money, but I still think this is incredibly useful for traders. You know, great way to help support your boy here in this channel. So check them out. There's the link. I'm not sure, Kenny. We'll see. All right, so again, we're testing highs here now. All right, so we are scalping the E-mini. Kind of taking some trades off stream, just locked that in. So we actually just broke the highs that we were in previously. Gains on this account, we're up 740 or so on the day. Big movement here though, for sure. Nvidia's choppy though, but the Q, SPY, everything else moving up a lot. Chewy has been one of the big ones. Etsy too. We're actually green on Etsy. We held that one for months. Last time we bought Etsy back in August. Still in Etsy right now. Still holding it. Green on it finally. It took a while though. Scaling out of some of my stock positions on this bounce too. All right, more strength coming through on the NASDAQ and the Q. Nvidia's pretty flat and sideways. Gold up to 2050s. Here's Tesla. Tesla at 254s. Tesla consolidating a little bit too. Yeah, the Q highs, like the lifetime highs on the QQQ, were right underneath it. Like if you look at the QQQ here, this light green line is the lifetime highs on the Q. It's at 408.70s. 408.71 is the lifetime high. It's currently at 408.53 is its high. The actual NASDAQ, the actual NASDAQ 100 futures contract just broke highs again. It got up to 16,995.50. So the NASDAQ just broke highs, like the NASDAQ futures contract, that is. But a very strong market day. Big movements in markets. I'm gonna buy this dip, see if we retrace quickly. Hopefully we don't dump. Give it 1 second here. If it doesn't work, we'll cover it. Yeah, we're gonna have to cover that. So we just lost a little bit. We're currently up 630 on the day after that trade. And that's all right. NASDAQ dipping down after breaking highs. Still watching some of these other blue chips. Watching the S&P too. Nvidia's starting to creep down towards the lows of the day, guys, so y'all be careful there. Loaded up the truck on AMD, a cyber truck, they say. Part of me wants to buy this dip, but again, I see Nvidia, which is a heavily weighted stock, starting to slump, and so I don't trust the NASDAQ enough here not to give it back and look like a McDonald's sign and start to break down with the other tech stocks starting to fall down a little bit as well. NASDAQ's dropping. Starting to definitely get some turnarounds here and everything, so y'all stay tight. Again, my day is currently, we are up 6:35 on the day, 6:35. And I don't know what we're gonna do. We might take a swing and try to get up there, but pretty good day so far. Currently in the S&P right here on the long side, up 75, 80, 100. All right, so we just made another 100 right there, so that breaks us on like our P&L graph, which is looking pretty nice today. We are currently up about 8. Very choppy day though, so y'all be careful. Do we have FedEx earnings tonight? Do we really? We have earnings this morning. I haven't even been looking at earnings. I assumed earnings season was basically over. We got some F-Cell earnings, a couple other ones. Today we got FedEx, yeah, and then later on in the week we got General Mills tomorrow morning, MU and BB Wednesday evening, Carnival Cruise, CarMax Thursday morning, and then Friday or the Thursday evening we got Nike, Simtrex, a couple other ones. I'm gonna buy this dip. Sometimes these can be a little bounce, and it looks like it's not though. Just slam down. I'm gonna close that. That looks fast. So basically gave back the gains. We're still up 630 on the day. Here's the graph. Again, the problem is Nvidia starting to crack down, look weak. Define large, kudo. Large is relative. It depends on what I'm trading to. Futures, I usually go a little bit harder than stocks. In futures, though, you don't have to take large position. You take one contract of the NASDAQ, it's going to move quick. NASDAQ dumping down here. Mostly from Nvidia breaking under 490s, hitting 489s, trying to break under 489s. You see the Q fall. Russell? What's the future symbol for the Russell? I can't remember. It's been a while since I looked at it. See what Chart Prime's showing me today. We've been using it. Again, look at the buy signal that showed up at Chart Prime. This is the E-mini, S&P 500. Again, look at the flag pattern break. That worked and then held as resistance. Sell signal worked over the last... This is a 3-minute chart, too. I might start using a 3-minute chart. Look at that buy signal show up literally right at the bottom and a beautiful bounce. And again, you can use this in anything, stocks, Forex, futures, whatever, anything with the symbol and TradingView you can use it on. Really nice custom alerts and custom indicators here. You can kind of see there's a lot of stuff. They have screeners, back testers, oscillators, market dynamics. I think to get the back tester and the screener, you have to be a lifetime member. But, you know, if you want to try it month to month, I think it's like $50 a month. It can just be really useful. And again, I used to never trust these type of companies until I started looking at this one myself and testing it myself. And again, I can't fake this. I also can't guarantee you're going to make money. Nobody can. But again, genuinely impressive. This is a 3-minute chart. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27. Almost 30 minutes of bullish action after that buy alert right there. So again, genuinely interesting. All right, we took another E-mini position, S&P 500 on Topstep here, up about $60, $75. Nice little pop. Let's see if we break the highs here. S&P testing highs. We'll go ahead and take that off, I guess. Again, we've been mostly flat back and forth here. We're up 775, about 800 right now. Could have held it a little bit longer, but good morning for solar, RTY. Yeah, the Russell at 2040s. Again, if you want to check out Chart Prime, you can look at this link here. You can also see the link in the description. Still looking like a really nice trend on the S&P. NASDAQ looks less trendy. Nvidia's starting to break over 490, still trying to hold. I'm probably going to go to bow out of the day, guys. I just don't see anything looking good. NASDAQ sideways, S&P 500's up. We'll see if we get another green day today. Again, I think this is about as good as I can hope for today, up about 780, 800 or so. So I'll take that. I'm going to see you guys later. Good luck. Y'all have a great day. I'm back home with my family. My kids are off of school, so I'm going to go chill with them. So y'all be good. I'll see you guys later. Y'all be safe in these markets, team. Have a great day.